Hey guys, my name is Elyse Waterman, and today we will be talking about the 50-year DIY time capsule. So if you're new here, welcome back. Wow. If you are new here, welcome, and if you aren't, welcome back. But today we are going to be talking about this product. I want to make it clear that this one is, made in the US on unique technology and built to last. We have 6 products available on Amazon on our website. And today we will be talking about our first product, which is the most affordable, the most basic one that we have to offer, and generally the one that a lot of people like to buy. They're dipping their toes in the world of time capsules. They've never done anything like this before. The 50-year one is a great first step. It's also a great gift, and we have a lot of that along the way. So let's hop into a video where we just discuss this product and see the best way to talk about this one. I just want to show through a video. Let me take this off. Okay, great. So I hope you guys got a better idea of the 50-year DIY time capsule. And of course today our theme is charities for the week. So we will be discussing that. Yesterday on Instagram we discussed it, and then today on Facebook, other streaming of media, and then lastly on Amazon, and of course on the podcast on Friday we will be discussing why charities can benefit from time capsules, and the product for this one of course is the 50-year DIY. So hopefully that video gave you a little bit of insight on what we're talking about today. And the 50-year DIY product, again, is one of our most basic time capsules that we have available, and it's perfect if you want to leave a video message. So in regards to charities, it's really great for their members to kind of sit down in front of the camera, reflect on their involvement in the charity, maybe their personal experience, depending on what it is. For example, maybe a breast cancer survivor would talk to the camera and kind of go through her experience with breast cancer, how that's impacted her family life, a source of inspiration for other people who have survived this or are currently fighting breast cancer. So there is a variety of different ways that we can use this 50-year DIY time capsule when it comes to charities. But it's not something sad. It's a great way to keep morale up as well, and to really bottle that inspiration in a video that you could show to future fundraising engagement and engage them in a creative way that hasn't really been done before. So I think that's an amazing idea. And a lot of people get overwhelmed about sitting in front of a camera and just talking about themselves for 30 minutes straight, which is totally understandable. So I want you guys to think about other ways in which you can use this 30 minutes. After all, the time capsule is a 30-minute video, but it doesn't have to be just an interview. You can do a variety of different things. We've had a lot of our clients choose to grab a lot of photos and make a photo slideshow and then do a voiceover a voiceover so that, you know, maybe they're not too comfortable in front of the camera, but they still want to make a time capsule and they still want their story to be heard and preserved for 50 years. They want their legacy to be remembered, and they want a fun message that they can give to people. And I think that doing it that way is a great alternative for someone who's maybe not as comfortable in front of the camera. I know I talk in front of the camera a lot for my job, but I was definitely and still am getting, you know, used to being in front of a camera every day. It can be daunting. So there are a lot of creative ways that you guys can use these to make it a little bit less daunting on yourself if you are not a huge fan of being in front of the camera. A lot of people that use these, they like to leave video messages for their family members, or they like to capture family traditions. For example, on Christmas, if you guys, you know, have a really good layout at your table and you have certain traditions that you do every year with members of your family, it's a really great idea to capture that in a video and put it into your time capsule. There are so many things that you can do, especially with Mother's Day coming up, for example. You can get this as a gift for your mom. The 50-year DIY, it's a great gift as well because it's pretty simple and they're do-it-yourself instructions. So if she's good with her phone, she's all good to go. So all she has to do is follow the instructions that are set up on the Not Forgotten app or on the website, and you just go along with the questions. There are template questions that you can follow, so you always get an idea of what to say and topics that you want to talk about. So it's great for brainstorming and seeing what you want to put into your time capsule. Or you can do what I did and you just kind of freeball it and talk about whatever you want for the allotted time, and then, you know, you can just see naturally what you decide to talk about. I'm not a huge planner personally, but I know a lot of people out there are, so it really is whatever you decide to do. It is, again, one of our most basic products. It's super easy to use, it's simple, and it's also budget friendly. So that's what we have for that one as well. And, you know, this is a gift that's made to be easy to do, and it is built to last you guys a lifetime. So it's just something to note as well. And shortly we will get into the unboxing so that you can see exactly what you're going to receive when you order a 50-year DIY on Amazon or on our website. And I want to just look at some of the specifics of the product before I even jump into that, just so I can show you. So I have this ready for you guys when we do the unboxing, but that's what I'm putting over here. So of course, if you are familiar with Not Forgotten, we do have 6 different products available, and they have a range of different duration of years that you can be preserving your memories for. So we have 50 years, 150, and lastly 300. You know, 300 is a long time. Often people ask me, you know, what does 300 years really mean? You know, who's going to be able to watch my video? Will people even care at that point? Yes, they will care. We've designed this because we know how important family is. We know how important, you know, saving the memories are. And 300 years actually allows you to save these memories for 10 generations of your family. So that's a lot. A lot of us are only close with, like, you know, second and third generation of our families. So these are people that you'll never get a chance to meet with 300 years. So that's definitely like a lifetime message that you can leave for your legacy. And the 50 year is more of a fun, easier time capsule. It's saved for 50 years so that you could do a quick little video message and it won't outlive you, hopefully. So that's something really fun that you can do. And they're really great for charities because, you know, they can set up creative ways to fundraise, and they could do, you know, fun little activities where you open up the time capsule years later. You set an opening date after you put everything in it. You do your 30-minute video, you get that all finalized, and then you set an opening date. So it's up to you when you want to open it, and you can make a whole day out of it. So if, like, for example, if you are in college and you have, we talked about this actually with the grad gifts the other week, but you can do this as well for the 50 years. If you're in college and you want to do a reunion with your friends and you want to make a time capsule and then set it to be opened in 20 years, for example, you can totally do that with this product. So I think there's a lot of great things that you can do, especially with the 50-year DIY. So there are 3 ways of mapping it so it never gets lost. We have the family record attached to your time capsule, which we have with every single product. We have another thing that we have with every single product. Remember, this is the most basic product that you can get. So this is exactly what you'll have these 3 ways of mapping with the other products that you order, and they'll also have additional ways of mapping. So the next one is that every time capsule is mapped to the International Time Capsule Society. We are the technology behind the International Time Capsule Society, which has been around for the past 30 years, I believe. So actually after the coronavirus pandemic, or when it started, the past few months, the past 6 months, we have been going through tens of thousands of time capsules and digitizing them to go, to be available so that people want to see what is in the International Time Capsule Society. We are the people that are behind that, digitizing them so that you guys can view them. So that's just a fun fact that we like to put out there. And of course, all of your time capsules, especially the 50-year DIY, will be mapped to your location with the International Time Capsule Society. And then you will get a library card from the International Time Capsule Society. And so, of course, with this, we have 2 different forms of delivery for the 50-year DIY. We have digital and we have physical. So today, of course, we're going to be unboxing the physical. If you are someone who doesn't really mind not having anything tangible when you order, if you are someone who's a bit more minimalist and wants, just an e-card, that is how it will come digitally, and that's totally fine. However, a lot of people like to have something to hold on to, something to gift and wrap up and put a bow on it if it's for someone else. And it is nice because it comes with different forms of paper, like different forms of explanation. We have a brochure, we have different pieces of paper that you can hold on to. You have a family tree map. You'll be seeing all of that as I unbox it shortly, but that's a great way to have everything in one place, and especially if you are gifting it, or maybe you're giving it to someone who's not super tech savvy and doesn't quite know what to do with the 50-year DIY time capsule. It's a great way to kind of explain it in simple terms, give them ideas of other people that have done their own time capsule, and it just makes the process a little bit easier, and they have some guidance when they're walking through it. So whatever you want to do, really, it's up to you guys. Again, like we spoke about, the opening dates, they can be set for anniversaries, reunions, birthday messages, christening videos that can be gifted later on. For example, if you have a christening and your mom gets you a 50-year time capsule and then you guys open it on your 16th birthday, it's a cute little family bonding activity, so you remember, where you started, and how much you've grown since then, what you've learned, how you've aged. And it's a really cool tool to look back on who you were and kind of set that checkpoint for reflection. And it's a great gift idea. So that's that. And then this product is more so about your life now, because the time capsule likely won't outlive you, so you'll be able to really view these as opposed to a 300-year time capsule, which of course you will unfortunately not live to 300 years to open your time capsule. So that's why, this is one of my favorite products, because it is something that you can really engage with as you're living and show all the people you love. When you have an opening date, you can all get together and watch it. So I think that's awesome. And just a reminder of the basics of a not forgotten time capsule, because I always want to make sure that you guys know these things. Our time capsules are never lost, and every single time capsule is linked to a person's history through GEDCOM. And again, it's mapped with the International Time Capsule Society, which we spoke about just before. So if you're just joining the live, hello. We are a part of the technology behind the International Time Capsule Society. You can look that up. It was in Oglethorpe University is where it began, in Georgia. So we have been digitizing the past 30 years of time capsules, tens of thousands of them. So it's really cool, really interesting to see all over the world people's stories and what they've been able to accomplish in their lives and what they want to preserve for future generations to see. So it's a really great way to kind of build that history, so that everyone can see it eventually in the World Cat Library. So again, if you have been watching our videos, you know all about data rot and you know the way that I love to explain it. If you guys have old photographs, of course you can still see them, but a lot of them have turned brown and the edges have curled up. That is what happens to physical photographs as the years go by. Time just gets the best of them. Time is inevitable and it ages everything. So before I started working at Not Forgotten, I did not think that this happened to digital media. I thought it was only physical. But unfortunately it does. So we found out that at the 10-year mark is when your data starts to rot away and decay. So we have ensured that our processes make it so that nothing ever happens to your data. If you've ever gone to open up a file and it says data corrupt or file corrupt, it means that your data has unfortunately been impacted and infected by data rot. So it's something that you can't really avoid. It sucks to hear. It is a hard truth to swallow, but we have made our time capsules the way that they have been made was to prevent them from data rot. And we use this with a cast iron combination of the preservation policy and data storage in climate controlled vaults in the US. They see to that and make sure that nothing bad ever happens to them. And we do adhere to the standards set forth by the US Library of Congress and the US National Archives and Records Administration. So we have a really high quality process of how we standardize, archive all of our time capsules to make sure that nothing ever happens to them and that we are behaving in a really really great way with our time capsules. And yeah, we just use the highest archiving standards guaranteed that you can use. So that's a great way to avoid data rot. And like I said, there are 2 locations when you do make your time capsule. They're in the mountain in Tennessee. There's a climate controlled vault that the Preservation Trust runs, and then also an additional copy in the cloud so that we ensure that there are backups just in case anything happens. There will be 3 backups, so you are all good, nothing to worry about there. And who leaves video messages with the 50-year product? So again, I talked a little bit about, a bride and groom, wedding parties, each leaves a message for the bride and groom. That'll be really great. They can open it in 20 years on their anniversary. Fingers crossed they're still together. But regardless, it's history, and I think it'd be really cool to look back on your wedding day. And, then again, we get into graduation groups, which is what we spoke about last week. But this product also works for them because, you guys can all get together and film yourselves and upload it together and set an opening date. So when you have your reunion, you have something to open up and you have an incentive to get together just in case, everyone's schedules get pretty busy. But if you have an investment like a time capsule, you're going to want to see, what you looked like when you made these time capsules, what you thought about, what you believed, young you right out of college, and what you really thought that your life would turn out to be. So it's a cool way to sit down and kind of, compare what actually happened to your predictions. So I know that I made a time capsule after college, and I'm super excited to open it and see where I'm at then compared to, where I'd be at opening the time capsule. So then another idea, especially for Mother's Day coming up, is new mothers with babies. A lot of mothers, especially now in like 2020, 2021, we are a super involved technology age. So everyone's taking pictures of their kids constantly. And, we really can kind of record everyone's growth using our iPhones, using our smartphones, like whatever you have. I guarantee you have a camera on there, and you are taking a lot more pictures than people did back in the day. So we want to make sure that none of that rots away from data. As I've talked about before, it is a real concern, especially for people who love to take photos and love to capture their memories. So by doing something like a time capsule with your child, you can ensure that nothing will ever happen to it, and you'll be able to revisit it for years to come. Their children will be able to see it, and it'll be a cool way to keep the family bonding and really have a memorable, priceless gift that you guys can revisit for years to come. So it's a really cool way to engage your family, and I'm happy that my family has done time capsules, so I'm sure that you guys would be able to benefit from them as well. Then we also have, sick people. When we're coming back to charities, there's a lot of people in the US and beyond who have suffered, from illnesses that they deal with every day. And it's really important that we are remembering their voices and remembering their stories. And you can easily do that with a 50-year DIY message. And I think that's a great idea if you have maybe an illness that runs in your family and you want to talk about it. That kind of thing. It is personal. It's up to each person, whatever you guys feel comfortable doing. But I know that in my family, a disease runs in my family, and I learned recently that, I have a 50-50 chance of getting it, and I would love to have some video footage of my Nana who had it and see, what she was going through in her mind when she was diagnosed, and it would make me feel a little bit better and make me feel less alone. Unfortunately, I don't have anything like that because she passed away before a product like this was announced, but maybe you guys can benefit from Not Forgotten in a way that I couldn't. And so I think that's really important to put out there. It's not meant to be depressing or sad. It's really meant to show that, we're all in this together, and you can really lean on your family for support when you're going through something like that. And I think that's really important, and it's a cool way to make use of a time capsule so that you guys can revisit that in the future and always know, what you're talking about when it comes to family history, family medical history. It's just a cool way to keep all that, which charities can benefit from as well, because we all, appreciate everyone's stories. In charities, we love to use community building techniques, which usually revolves around collaboration and talking about your story and, sitting in a group and sharing your experiences. I think that a lot of healing comes from that as well, which I actually talked about in my first podcast with my friend Lena, who's a licensed social worker, and she said so many people like to share their stories and bounce ideas off one another, and she loved the idea of time capsules for even the people that she counsels. So I think it's a great idea for charities to get involved, and the 50-year DIY time capsule is just perfect because it's the right amount of time, and it's kind of that sweet spot so that you can revisit it, and that, again, the time capsule doesn't outlive you like a 300-year one would. So another one is, families. If you want to make Christmas cards, you want to spice it up a little bit, do a time capsule. There's a ton of different ways you can utilize these around the holidays, and they're really creative, and you are able to remember, all of these memories, and they're going to be in such high quality that you really can't replicate as data rot starts to impact our photos and videos. If you've ever watched an old video, there are lines running through it. It's a little bit hazy, it's a little blurry, so you won't have to experience any of that with our Not Forgotten time capsules. So I think that's super important. Another one that I love is individuals in a lifetime series. So this idea for me is great because I'm someone who, I like to journal. I'm a huge writer. I was a journalism major. However, I do notice that sometimes, words aren't enough. I actually read an interesting fact recently that communication is 91% tonality and 9% words. So what you're actually saying is only 9% important sometimes, because the tonality behind it is what really sets you apart, So yeah, you can say, I won the lottery, or you can be like, I just won the lottery. And those are the same exact words, but the tone really changes how people interpret what you're saying. So with a time capsule, it's not just written on a piece of paper. It's not a flat form of digital media. It's not a photograph. It's an actual video where you're able to look at the camera and talk the way that you would, and use your mannerisms and smile and laugh, and we'd be able to capture those features and characteristics about you that your family wouldn't be able to see when you have just some old journal entries or a photo. So there's a lot of different aspects when it comes to video that are really, really great for capturing who someone is holistically, if that makes sense. So as the whole person, not just like a little written diary entry or anything like that. You really have an idea of who the person is behind just their writing or the way they would choose to portray themselves in photos. I think when you are in front of a camera, it's very authentic and raw, and that's why people get so scared to even do it in the first place. But again, as I said before, especially if you just joined the live, don't get intimidated by sitting in front of someone and talking for 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be like that. If you're someone who absolutely loves the new hobbies that you've accumulated over quarantine, if you started to garden, if you started to sew, or if you started to redo your house and catch up with projects that you have always wanted to do but never had enough time for, you can record you walking through your house and showing what you've done. You can record your garden. You can record your sewing projects, your artwork. You can share some of your music. You can do whatever you want. There are so many creative ways to avoid just standing in front of the camera and talking if that's not something you're into. Don't force it just because you want, to save memories. There's so many other ways to do it, and you don't have to do it in a way that makes you uncomfortable. Do whatever you want, because the best time capsules come from people that are happy to do them, that want to be there, and that can show every aspect of your life, and you could do that in a variety of different ways. It doesn't mean you just have to sit there and talk and then So that's something to note, because I know a lot of people get a little scared when we say, look at the camera and talk for 30 minutes. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's totally fine. So we have designed this product so that you can use it in so many different ways, and I'm going to unbox it so you know exactly what you're getting. And lastly, like I said before, and if you just joined, these are a great product for charities. They're great to capture people's success stories and give it as a source of inspiration for others. If you have an amazing person who is maybe a bit older and they have, been in the charity for a long time and they've passed away, keeping a video of them speaking and sharing inspiration and being able to play that at fundraising events, at conventions, at any Run 5K, at blood drives, like whatever you guys do. If you're looking for a way to be creative with your marketing, this is such a great way to do that. So with that being said, we're going to unbox everything that we've done today. So let me just put the camera here. All right, guys, here, and before I start, we're gonna unpack the kit, but yeah, if you just joined, we are unpacking and unboxing more so the gift, just to show you what you'll actually receive when you order the package, and yeah. So again, we combine preservation expertise. We have the highest archiving standards, intelligent tracing tools, exclusive mapping technology. Oh no, it's upside down. Let me fix that, guys. I want to make sure that everything works so we can get a really good idea of the product and just, yeah. So you guys know what you are getting, because I'm someone who loves reviews. I love just knowing exactly what I'm getting before I buy it. And I'm sure you guys are similar, because, it's your money and you want to make sure that you're happy with your purchase, and we want to make sure that you love the product as much as we do. So now that I've done that, okay, so this is exactly what you'll get. Obviously, it'll come in one of these, but it'll be like this. And again, we do meticulously catalog each time capsule, and we guarantee that your loved one's stories and memories are safe and secure for up to 50 years. Well, if you do the 50-year DIY. If you do any other one, you can do 150 or 300. So what you'll get is a really nice envelope with our logo in gold, and it is one of those, envelopes it's pretty good quality, so it'll be nice to open up. It's thicker. And when you are first opening up this, you will be greeted with the brochure. So let me put all that. This is the brochure that I was talking about earlier in the video if you just joined. It is great, especially when you are giving this to members in a charity and they need a little guidance on what they want to do for their 50-year DIY, or if you're just giving it to someone as a gift and you don't quite know how to explain what they want to do, or you want to give them, an idea of how it works, some customer stories, some inspiration, and frequently asked questions, so you don't have to answer their questions. So, we have all of that, and it's a great little tool to kind of explain who we are. Of course, we're obsessed with saving stories, and the whole point of this is to capture your story and your memories on, your life journal, essentially what it is. Yeah, so your video time capsule can be 30 minutes long. You have a choice of answering 8 questions or simply capturing your thoughts in a free-form open format, which we've talked about before. So we talk about, how we preserve it, how you can find it. And it's one of my favorite quotes. It's so wonderful that I can have this opportunity to go over things. Most of my family have no idea about my background, my history, and what I have done. So there's just a different ways that, it explains exactly what you do when you do a time capsule and how you save it. And of course, we have customer stories that are available for you to read so that you can get a really good idea of the ways in which you can utilize your time capsule and make the most out of your purchase, which I think is really great. And it's pretty cool. We have a lot of people doing coverage on us and giving their own ideas to what we are. Fortune Herald actually hailed it as a scrapbook that will live on for centuries. So, I love that idea. It really is something that will live on for a long time. And I like the idea of it being like a scrapbook. especially if you don't want to sit the camera and you want to do like a photo slideshow and talk over it, which you can totally do, as I said. Yeah. And you know, Women's Daily actually called us the innovative new take on time capsules. We are the gift of immortalizing one's life for centuries to come. So pretty cool. And then, you know, after that brochure, obviously it looks like this. After that, you put that back, and the rest of the envelope has a ton of what you'll need. So I'll just take it all out right now. So this one is just the explanation of the gift. This one's for the memory box, but of course it will be the 50-year DIY. So it completely tells you, you know, what you'll receive when you get the 50-year DIY time capsule. And it's just a little like gift card-esque piece of paper that really just like explains exactly what you're going to receive. So it breaks it down for you. Then the actual gift card will be in a little white envelope like this. You will open it and you'll get your unique code that you could use when you go into the website, and you know, no one else will have that code, so you're good to go with that. And then also you will have this piece of paper. It's one of my favorite pieces of paper because you put it in your will, and I always think it's kind of funny if someone thinks that you left them money, but really you just leave them a little piece of paper that says you made a time capsule. And maybe you've left a video message for them. You know, maybe it's something that you guys, it's something that will benefit them as well. Maybe the information that you've left on the video message, or just a quick message to make everything easier for them. So yeah, this one, it just gives you a little note to say that you've created a video of your story, you preserved it with the Not Forgotten Digital Preservation Trust, and that they'll ensure that your story is protected for up to 300 years. Of course, if you get the 50-year DIY, it is for 50 years, but yeah, that's really great. This paper. And this one is the Certificate of Asset Contribution. So again, this is just to certify that your video has been incorporated into the assets of the Digital Preservation Trust and established to ensure that your legacy can be passed from generation to generation. And then it gives you at the bottom, oops, view the records on the Not Forgotten Library. So it gives you a little place so you always know where to find your time capsule, because making a time capsule is great, but if you don't know where to get it, you know, what's the point? So just staying on top of that and staying organized so you know where you can get it, where you can view it, and where your family can view it. Now, speaking of family, we have this huge family tree that I think is a great tool to figure out, you know, who's made a time capsule so far, who hasn't, who wants to, and you start off with this is you. You know, see your family all on the sides. And if people have passed away, there's no worries. You know, you can still preserve their memories because you can get a memory box for them that you can put, you know, their digital media in and their photos to protect them from data rot. So that's a great idea. And then hopefully, you know, your mother, your father, your grandparents, they're still around to make a time capsule. And for some reason, we don't have siblings, but if you have a lot of siblings, feel free to chuck them in there and make them a time capsule as well. Maybe gift it to them for their birthday or graduation, or, you know, any reason, because if they make a time capsule, it really helps you, because then you could, you know, have your family tree and start to kind of grow that out and make sure that your family history is preserved for your children to always have. So memories are important. You know, the best ones never fade, but what keeps memories alive, that's really important when you consider how time is unkind to photographs, videos, CDs, all that. So we now know that even digital data rots as the years pass, and for people who cherish their memories and the stories that they tell, this is a hard truth to swallow. It means memories will fade and stories will die. So Not Forgotten does change this because now everyone can safeguard their cherished memories for centuries. And that's what we're doing here. And so I'm just showing you guys, you know, exactly what you'll receive when you order the 50-year DIY time capsule in the physical format. This is everything that you'll get. It's totally worth the money because you have, you know, different types of media that will allow you to, you know, show someone, whoever you're gifting this to, exactly what this does. You know, giving them a little family building activity so they can see how many people in their lives maybe want to make a time capsule. And this is only $79, so it's $79. It delivers a timeless gift, blending a distinctly personal touch and a huge convenience. And these are built on unique technology. They're made in the US, and it's a gift that is made to be kept for a long time. So, you know, what I like to do is just imagine your grandchildren. They're being able to introduce your mother to the children in 100 years' time. Imagine mom's relief at having all of her memorabilia safe, accessible, protected, ready to be drawn from a library for hundreds of years. It's a really great way to make sure that your family stays connected throughout the years, and to show, this is what grandma was like. This is what your aunt was like if she's not around anymore, and this is the way she laughed and the way she smiled, and there's certain things that you just can't, you can't explain. And I think someone sitting in front of their story and having the ability to leave their legacy in the way in which they want to, and tell it the way they want to be remembered is really beautiful and really priceless. So remember, when you do order this online on Amazon or on our website for $79, this is everything that you receive, and it is a good amount. It's definitely worth the money. It is one of our more affordable products. It's our most affordable product, actually. So if you are wanting to get involved in the time capsule world, but you don't want to break the bank, and you're not really sure about the experience, or you just want kind of a little sample or like idea of what exactly that means, and before you invest in 150 or 300 years, the 50-year one is a really good product to get. So again, this is exactly what you'll get. It'll come in this package if you order it from Amazon, and it'll look exactly like that. So let me just put this back up. Yeah, so that is exactly what we have today. Obviously, this episode, is about the 50-year DIY and how many ways that it could help. It can really help people, especially with charities. Our podcast this week is going to cover charities and how time capsules can help them, especially when they have challenges fundraising in times like COVID-19. So it's pretty timely. If you want to stay tuned for the podcast, it'll be Friday at 4, and it'll be live here as well. But thank you so much, guys, for coming in. And just reminder that if you do want to buy these products, it is available on Amazon, on our website, and we have it right here, Take Me Back Time Capsule. That's our Instagram if you want to follow along our journey of creating a new category of gift that's never been on the market before. This is like a completely new futuristic gift to give someone who has everything already, or maybe they're looking for ways to preserve their memories. Maybe they're someone who's really into photography, or who's really into anything that they don't want to fall apart. If they're a videographer and they create videos, they'll have a lot of fun with this one. They will really enjoy sitting in front of a camera. They've been behind the camera for such a long time, and maybe it would be a good experience to get them in front of the camera. Again, if you want to leave a video message to anyone, this is the product that you want to get, because it's 50 years. And it's just a really fun and engaging way to keep everyone together and keep their memories alive. And the fact that we, are a library, and that all of these time capsules are mapped with the International Time Capsule Society using our intelligent tracing tools, you don't have to worry about anything once you get that video done. We do all the rest. We handle it for you. It's super hassle-free, and you know that your video is in safe hands for 50 years. So it's really important to know that once you do this, and once you pay like the $79 or $69 if you want to get it with just a digital e-card, which you can totally do on Amazon as well, it's really not that much money. It's a one-time payment, and you have this for 50 years. So you guys can do the math per year, but it's pretty cheap, and it's a great way to tell someone that you love them and that you care about them and that their story matters, that you appreciate what they have to say, and that you want to preserve it because it's that important. So again, it's really great for families. It's great for new moms. It's great for anyone who has something to say and wants to remember it. And it's also great for people like me, younger people that are entering their lives. I made my time capsule right when I graduated college into a pandemic. Who would have thought? And it's really important to note that, now I can look back at that. I'm going to make one every 10 years as a kind of a checkpoint for where I am as part of my lifetime series. And you guys can totally take my idea and do that as well, because I think it's a really fun way to see how you age as a person. I know one of our clients had Alzheimer's and dementia. They run in her family, so she's nervous, about like forgetting her memory, losing her memory a bit, and forgetting things that really matter to her. So she's really excited to make a time capsule every 10 years, 5 or 10 years, and she gets to revisit it and just keep those memories crystal clear, so that maybe on days that she can't remember as much, she can go back and read them and watch them. So there are so many different ways that you guys can use these time capsules and make it a really heartfelt experience for you, for your family, and for anything that you love, any charity events, any traditions that you guys do, anything that you want to keep in there. It's just such a versatile product because it is one of our most basic product. It's our most affordable product, and it's just 30 minutes of video, and you really can do whatever you want with that video. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for coming in today and just watching me and hearing exactly about the product and what it looks like when you buy it and what you'll get when you receive it. So I hope this was helpful. As always, comment below if you have any tips for next time, if you liked what I had to say, anything that you guys want. I love to engage with all of you and just see that we can make this such a hassle-free, fun experience for all of you guys when you buy a Not Forgotten Time Capsule, because it is one of those priceless gifts, and you turn individual lives as a gift. So I think that's really important to know and remember when you're buying Not Forgotten Time Capsules. So thank you again so much for today, and we hope to have you tune in on Friday on our podcast. We have some really great guests to talk about charities and the way in which time capsules have helped them and will help them in the